know they're young, they're curious, and they just want to know.
Middle school students drew LGBTQ flags to express their sexuality.
The teacher was fired for handing out inappropriate and unapproved content.
Why are some LGBTQ teachers being fired? Is it strictly because they're gay, or is there more nuance to the conversation at hand? In this video, we're going to be discussing several LGBTQ teachers who have been fired and why, as well as a common sense approach to, I don't know, not get fired.
A Cape Coral art teacher has been fired for speaking about sexuality with her students. First-year teacher Casey Scott says her middle school students drew LGBTQ flags to express their sexuality. She hung the pictures on her classroom door, but was met with criticism from the district, which then led to her firing.
No, Sherlock, what did you expect when you're dealing... This is already gonna be a stressful video. Literally, you're a 6th grade teacher. Why are you having students draw the various different flags to identify their sexuality? Keyword sex. They're in 6th grade. Half these kids, if not all of them, haven't even gone through puberty yet you're insisting on them that they pick a sexuality that they know who they want to have sex with. Like, that's what a sexuality is. Like, yes, even for me, and I talk about it in my coming out story, I knew in 5th grade that I liked guys, but it's not a teacher's role to push that on students or offer that up to them. Like, this idea that you think it's okay to just have students draw all these various different flags. I saw like pride flag, trans flag, non-binary flag. They're children. Like, literally, they're in 6th grade. There's no need for any of this at all.
They said that it would be in the best interest if I just got rid of them now. I went over to the recycling bin, I grabbed all of their flags, and all the kids were staring at me, and I crumbled their flags in front of them. I got a call from administration saying that, well, at this time, we are releasing you from your contract.
Union President Kevin Daly says the Lee County School District can legally fire Scott because she does not belong to the union. The district says she was terminated for not following state-mandated curriculum.
Yeah, like, follow the curriculum, teach them the things that they need to be taught for school in 6th grade, and go about your day. And you wouldn't have been fired. So in this case, it's not even that, oh, an LGBTQ teacher was fired. No, but that you have a 6th grade teacher really pushing on these kids to pick their sexuality, draw these flags, this, that, and the other, when they're in 6th grade and they need to be learning, you know, proper English, good math, history, gym, all that kind of stuff. This is only the first one, y'all. The first video we're getting into.
A 5th grade teacher was just fired in Cobb County, just outside.
We talked about that teacher in my last video, why the LGBTQ books have been banned in schools, and I bought all the books that actually have been banned, and we go through them all. It's a really good video, you should check that one out. But yeah, that teacher was fired, but I'm curious on what this like LGBTQ activist has to say about that firing.
Just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, for reading a book to her class that, quote unquote, considers gender something other than binary.
That's
right.
Book
In
says.
Cobb County, just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, Katie Renderly, a 5th grade teacher, was fired because she read the book My Shadow is Purple to her class. Recently in Georgia, they have passed laws that forbid teachers from establishing political viewpoints. And in a tribunal, they held up the book and put it on trial. And they determined that because the book uses they, them pronouns, it considers gender something other than binary. And because the book does that, and because she read that book to her classroom, it is worth firing her for doing that.
Literally, you can go watch a video. At the end of that book, the little like main character kid convinces everybody that they're non-binary and that their shadows are various different colors and they don't have to abide by the pink and blue rules of society, and it's a whole ordeal. I would not like it if my kindergarten and 1st grade student was read that book. It's very confusing. There's no need for any of this gender and sexuality stuff to be pushed on kids.
We saw another teacher fired for mentioning that she was gay.
That's the same teacher from the lab. Is it not? Yes, that's the same teacher from the last video. She wasn't fired just because she was gay. She was fired because she had all the students draw sexuality flags. This girl's played out.
In South Carolina, we saw a teacher fired for having an article about LGBTQ people.
What exactly happened? So, teacher fired after handing out inappropriate unapproved article. District says, according to the district, the article is about an LGBTQ subgroup called the International Bear Brotherhood that provides men. See, in what world did you think it was okay and appropriate to teach students about bears, about this little subgroup in the gay community for just big, overweight, hairy men? Why aren't you just teaching the children the things you're supposed to be teaching them and abide by the school and what you're supposed to be doing? Why do you feel it's necessary to go out here and teach your students about bears? Matter of fact, let's go ahead and ask, what are some things that public school teachers shouldn't be teaching? All right, so public school teachers should adhere to the curriculum set by educational authorities and teach subjects that are appropriate and beneficial for the students' academic growth and personal development. Clear as day, completely understandable. Teachers should be avoiding religious and political indoctrination, controversial sensitive issues, personal belief or biases, inappropriate content, outdated or inaccurate information, and non-educational activities. Makes perfect sense to me, and it's crazy that even AI understands what a public teacher school role is and what they should and should not be teaching. And also, if you like to utilize AI in your daily work, then it's a perfect opportunity for you to check out today's sponsor, Opera Browser. It's a free browser that I honestly love using for so many other reasons that we're going to get into right now. You can go on Twitter and this little pop out on the side. I really love this feature. And then it also has WhatsApp, Spotify. It's just a really clean player on the side. What I also enjoy is that it has a built-in ad blocker and VPN, which is seamless to use across the browser. And my favorite part about this all is, one, you have these different work zones, right? So like if you're working, you're planning a vacation, so you don't have all these different tabs. And then within that, so I have these music festivals that I'm thinking about going to. And right here, you see I have like the purple. That's my little island of tabs. And then I can go over here. Okay, now I'm trying to plan a beach trip. These are the Airbnbs I was looking at. That is like tipped away, and then I have my festivals right here. It's a dope feature that really helps me get focused in my work. So if you like what you see, you can use the link below to download this browser for free and give it a try.
I was recently hate crimed for being queer. And as a result of me being hate crimed for being queer, it ultimately led to me being fired from my job as a high school substitute teacher.
Okay, so this person's name is Fuzzz. Been featured on his channel before. They're the big old... I'll put a clip here.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! I just want to say that I'm proud of you for making it through your first day of school.
That's who Fuzzz is. Fuzzz got fired from their job, and we're gonna go through and see why, but I guarantee you this person was not hate crimed. I guarantee you it was because of the content that they make that is geared towards children, the main reason why they got fired. But let's get into this explanation and this whole ordeal.
Queer teachers are under attack and are constantly being targeted and kicked out of the classrooms for being who they are and for helping students feel welcomed for who they are.
Strongly disagree. So far as we've gone through this video, there's completely understandable reasons why these LGBTQ teachers have been fired. You can have a gay teacher and that's fine, but I think what's fine is when that gay teacher isn't making being gay their whole identity. When a gay teacher is just teaching. And they're not pushing anything on the kids. There's no rainbow flags in the room. They're just literally teaching. Those gay teachers are perfectly fine. But this person right here who's making it their whole identity, who's really like gravitating, giving special treatment to like gay kids, no.
I had hundreds of thousands of people harassing me online, and some even went to more extreme lengths to harass me in real life.
Well, I don't condone harassment. I don't condone violence. But on the flip side, there's a lot of people who don't condone grooming children. It is what it is. Like, here's a clip I'm gonna show you of the grooming that I'm referring to.
Mom? Are you a girl or a boy? There hasn't been one single day of camp where a kid hasn't asked me my gender. And every day they ask me, I always say, I'm glad you asked.
Damn near 30 acting like a fool.
Because I know they're young, they're curious, and they just want to know.
And that's the problem people have. You literally wouldn't have all these DMs and like hate if it wasn't for that. If you weren't making content and talking about how you're teaching kids about being they, them, and being non-binary, and really pushing on these children that they can just be them. You don't have to be a boy. You don't have to be a girl. Maybe you wouldn't get the hate that you talk about you received.
September of last year, I was called into HR's office for 1, being reported by the haters, and 2, apparently the freshmen were writing my username on whiteboards, and the school wanted to make sure I wasn't self-promoting my brand, which I wasn't. The freshmen had a very hard time adjusting to the fact I worked at that school and freaked out on the daily because I worked at school.
No, because the content that you make online is very childish.
I explained that I was internet famous and that I make LGBTQ educational content on the internet, and that I was targeted towards the end of summer, and that our very own town's manager was aware I was being harassed, as well as the local police department being informed and then later involved.
And now you're not safe for children. Like now, like, yeah, all this attention online, all this hate, it's interrupting the school flow. The kids can't concentrate because you're sitting here being famous. Like, pick one. Either you're going to be a famous, super controversial LGBTQ content creator, or you're going to be a substitute teacher. They don't mix. Are there teachers out there who are famous and they still teach? Yes. There's like this science teacher I found on Instagram, but she's a science teacher and then she teaches science online. It's fine. There's no motives behind it. There's no politics. There's no sexuality. It's literally just science, and that's what kids need to be learning. The stuff that you're making, no. There's so much more to it.
On October 30th, 2023, I received an email from my HR manager asking to sit down to talk about my social media posts. I hadn't posted about working at school on TikTok in a couple of weeks, and the only post I could think of was where I let the art club kids face paint my face to practice before a big football game. And I thought for some reason HR wasn't going to be happy. I let them face paint my face and were going to yell at me, but that wasn't the case at all. Considering the comments on this video were so horrible,
I mean,
I do believe this was the motivation for the hater to commit the crime.
why you have all these little kids touching your face? Because they want to practice on each other. Kids go. There should not be any contact between the teacher and the student, let alone the substitute teacher.
The morning of November 2nd, before my meeting with HR, I was notified by email by our substitute booking website that all of my jobs that I had booked out till March were taken away from me and I was released from working them. Immediately, I got a gut-sinking feeling in my stomach and realized something more serious was going on, and I had no clue what it was.
So what we really and ultimately find out is that, this person was not hate crimed at all whatsoever, and they got fired because of the content they're posting online, typically directing and involving children or talking about them or acting like them. I don't think this person's fired just because they were gay. I think there's a lot more to it, and they weren't hate crimed. And yeah, once again, it's another teacher being just very overly dramatic. Before we hop off this Fuzzz person, let's take a look at one more TikTok that they have made.
Guess who had their first day back 7 at school today? I did. So right off the bat, for first period, I had a bunch of my gay kids that I had last year in the class. And the way their faces lit up when they saw me this morning, y'all, it made me feel so good and reminded me why I love to do what I do.
We're done. That's Fuzzz. You can look at more about them if you want. There's tons of videos out there, but we're moving on to the next teacher who has been fired.
Tonight, we are hearing from a teacher who lost her job because of her personal relationship. Her Catholic school fired her.
There's a lot of criticisms and things to say about the Catholic Church, but that's not what this video is about. If you're a gay teacher at how are you a gay teacher at a Catholic church? You'll be lucky to even get married in a Catholic church. Like, obviously, it makes sense contextually why that person got fired. A gay person from a Catholic private school, that seems like it might butt heads a little bit. Let's go to this next teacher, shall we?
Long Island parents are coming to the defense of a Catholic school teacher they say was
I guess this video's done. That makes total sense to me why the teacher got fired for being gay at a private Catholic church. So as we've seen throughout this whole video, y'all, we've seen countless teachers be fired, whether it be for grooming children, for having children draw pride flags, for reading children about being non-binary, just for existing and being gay, but at a Catholic religious private school. All these cases that we've gone through today, it makes complete sense why that person got let go and why they were fired. I'm hard-pressed to find someone on the internet that has been fired strictly for being gay, and when I do find that, you typically see it at a private Catholic school. I don't know, y'all. That I just feel like in this day and age in America, it is perfectly okay to be gay. If you're teaching at a public school or you're teaching at a private school where they're fully aware of your sexuality, because in those two cases with the Catholic school, they just got exposed. So like you knew yourself, like you knew internally that being gay was a problem and you hid it from your job. A Catholic school, it's different if it's a public. So if it's a public school firing a gay teacher just for being gay, that is wrong. But I'm hard pressed to find somewhere in 2024 where you just aren't allowed to be yourself, because a lot of the times what we've seen, as we've seen in this video, there is more nuance to the conversation at hand. So thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate it a ton. Be sure to check out the video that I did talking about all the books that have been banned because of the LGBTQ content in them. That is absolutely insane video. And keep a lookout for more content to come in this month. There's so much more coming. The next video dropping, it's a headache and a half, but we're gonna get into it. There's so much more to uncover, unpack with you guys. So thank you guys for the much continued love and support. We're on our road to 200K. It blows my mind that we're already, I believe, at 192, I think. 192 or 193, we're around there. So thank you for the love. Thank you for sharing the content. I appreciate it a ton. And as always, I hope that you have a great day. Remember that you can be whatever you put your mind to. Not in this like LGBTQ queer way. What I mean is that when you put your mind to it and you work hard, you can achieve all the things that you put your mind to. That's all. You want to be successful, you want to be rich, you can do it. Put your mind to it, grow your businesses, do what you need to do, and you can get there. So with that being said, much love. Now catch you guys in the next video. Deuces.